Hola, friends. The last time I started the video by saying adios, amigos. Little did I realize that that's a way of signing off and saying goodbyes, farewells, yeah, till we meet again. So, first of all, I'd like to apologize to all you guys who spent your valuable time in listening to me on the review for the Navitas Perfumes Xenial limited edition perfume. I ideally apologize. I signed off, I did everything, but as I mentioned, there had been so many retakes and I was so drained. I didn't realize I didn't plug in um, uh, the bye bye note towards the end of my video, thanking you for your valuable time, asking for your comment suggestions, requesting you to like, subscribe, support the channel, hit the notification bell so every time I do a review it gets through to you. And if you want to watch it, if you're interested in knowing more about the fragrance, you can hit the video and like, share and subscribe for the upcoming videos. That's the apologies bit and the goodbyes that I did not did not bid my farewells to you till we meet again. I'm here today and I'm going to review Tobacolor by Dior. I think it's the Privee collection, or if you want to call it the Maison Christian Dior. I'm not sure what name it goes by, but yes, the Privee collection basically. So it's Tobacolor. I love the color of the juice, as you might all know. I love. It's not as dark as I consider amber fragrances to be, but then yeah. Now so Tobacolor, the significance of doing Tobacolor, and then yet another fragrance review based on tobacco itself, Tony Iommi whiskey by Xerjoff, is that I want to complete the entire collection that I have for my tobacco based fragrances. I have the bottles here, I lined it up so I could show them to you. I do not want to make this review long, but I think it's my style of communicating with you guys. I don't. I mean, if you're going to make a video short and you do not put your message across or otherwise, I think it's not fair to the viewers. So this is one of the acquisitions I think in 2023 that I did. Royal Tobacco. This is the perfumer. The nose behind this fragrance is Cecile Zarokian, and she's done a tremendously fabulous job because it's a completely different take on tobacco fragrances. I then have Journey by Amouage. It's such a royal, it actually says on the box gift for kings, and I think just the presentation itself. Journey is another tobacco based fragrance again from the house of Amouage. We have Boundless, which is yet another cumin heavy tobacco fragrance. So it gives it the sweaty animalic prospect of yet another cumin based fragrance, cumin heavy fragrance I should say, that brings about the sweaty animalic nuances to a perfume. Is Byredo's Tobacco Mandarin. These come in 50 ml bottles and these are extracts. Look at the color of the juice, unbelievable. If this doesn't say to you, nothing will. It's a beast of a fragrance. I love it. One of my old loves that I always like to have my collection in my collection and never run out of is Parfums de Marly Arid. It's been there for a decade and I can't get enough of this one. It's tobacco, spicy, sweet. The last time we talked about Enigma, again we have Tobacco Absolute here, which we're going to talk about just in a bit. I have the king of tobacco fragrances, the holy grail if you would, Xerjoff Naxos. I hope yep. So Xerjoff Naxos, everybody swears by this fragrance. I bought it about a year ago and this is how much I've used. I'm not a big very big fan of Naxos. It's a nice perfume. I think it do better in the winter time. Unfortunately, I think when I acquired the fragrance, it was already summers and it was cloyingly heavy, very dense, syrupy. sweet, toothache, maybe a little. We have the Dawn again from Surgeoff. Join the club collection. I think most of the Join the Club collections come in these blue bottles, for which they do not tell you the notes on their website, and I guess it's everybody's knows for themselves, and there are different nuances that people pick up. The general consensus though is the same. It's a dark whiskey, again, gentleman's club bar kind of a fragrance. It's one that I like, truly like a lot. All these fragrances are my favorites. I don't think I'll speak about fragrances that I do not like, and I don't want to rent on the perfume houses, because every perfume has its market, every perfume has its fans. To me, something that I do not like might be loved by another fraghead, and that's just perfumes, right? How they work on you, and the way that they communicate with your inner soul. So perfumes again is artistry, is art at its best. There's a communication that the perfume has. It touches your soul in different ways. It evokes emotions that I think we never knew we had. There are a few fragrances that kind of tingle my senses, and usually fragrances that are first of its kind when I haven't smelled anything like it before. One of these fragrances, surprisingly, was Argos. I got Fall of the Phaeton because it said animalic leather. Since the time I got into niche, and the more I kind of try to go deeper into the notes in perfumery, I initially did not like animalic notes. I dig animalic notes. I love animalic notes now, and I don't find anything animalic about it. There's nothing that kind of virtually moved me in that way. I have the bottle. It's a beautiful artwork on the bottle, hand painted. There's a plaque. It goes back to Greek mythology, all the perfumes for the house. People speak very highly of these perfumes, and so I got Follow the Phaeton, hoping it'd be really animalic, and it kind of throw people off the axis and they wouldn't want to come close to me. But that did not happen, and it did not happen to me. I mean, at no point that I sprayed the perfume, its longevity was good. The quality of the fragrance, I would commend Argos on, but besides that, there wasn't. I really wanted to get into the house. I wanted to try Triumph of Bacchus Extrait. I wanted to, since Extrait is already out, it doesn't make sense to get a perfume if you're used to more stronger beast mode fragrances. So I wanted the Extrait, but I'm holding my horses. There was another fragrance, a rose-based fragrance that everybody swears by, Adonis Awakens. And another one that I really want to try, which is mostly out of stock, and even though it's in stock sometimes and I get the notifications, I don't want to pull the trigger because I'm not using Fall of the Phaeton at all, and that's the selling point for the other fragrance that I'm referring to. The name of that fragrance is Nemean Lion, Nemean Lion, and it's supposed to be another animalic leather based fragrance. So that's all for my rant for today. That's like 8 minutes 47 seconds. I'm sorry for that. Let's get back to Maison Christian Dior, or Christian Dior Privee collection. Tobacolor is the perfume here. I think it's a 250 ml bottle that retails for about 1,560 at the Dior boutique. I did not purchase this fragrance. Again, the name comes through. Abdul Karim Kadwani, dear, more than a brother. He's just my soulmate. Like if he was to say two bodies, one life, I know it sounds cheesy. It sounds more cheesy than it is, but it's not cheesy at all. That's the way I feel about him. He's my second soul. He's the love of my life besides my wife. These are the guys who've supported me in my life. My wife, I especially wanted to thank her in this video, which I didn't in the last. She's helped me through and through, and she's always stood by my side, no matter how wrong or right I'd be. She's always been there. She supports me in my fragrance journey. My cousin has gifted me Tobacolor, Tony Iommi. I don't remember if there's any other fragrances he's gifted me, but yeah, these two mean a lot to me. So let's get to Tobacolor and the review, and I'll leave a time marker for you guys to start at about 10 minutes, 8 minutes 47 seconds, 10 minutes into the fragrance review. A few things I'd like to say about this is it's a lot of the releases that Dior was throwing at us, according to me, my humble opinion, were not solid releases. This is a real solid release. Well, basically reminds you of a few Privee fragrances, which I'll talk about later, and I'll tell you where that DNA sparks from, and how this fragrance might remind you of a few other Dior Privee or Maison Christian Dior fragrances, and the way it reminds you, and how would that be associated to this fragrance. This used to be an exclusive on the website only, but I see it retail in the Dior boutiques now, much widely openly. So the price for the 250 ml in US used to be $320 US. They had increased the price, I think, last year, and it's increased by 30 USD, 30 US dollars, and that's not that big a hike compared to some of the other brands like Louis Vuitton. Their fragrances are priced like it kind of and then the thought of using those fragrances as layering tools to kind of spray on a stronger fragrance, and it just doesn't make sense. You might as well spend your money on something that kind of moves you in a special way. Yeah, I did get Ombre Nomad, the 200 ml bottle, back in the day. It was okay, but then again, like I said, it's a layering tool for close to 2,600 dirhams. That's ridiculous. You wouldn't. I don't know. I have seen many layering tools, fragrances, if you want to call it. I wouldn't really call them fragrances. They're more like skin scents, and they can be sprayed to kind of strengthen a weaker perfume that you like, because a lot of the perfumes have been reformulated. They don't have the oomph that they used to back in the day. But then that's IFRA regulations, and I appreciate IFRA in a way, because they kind of ask manufacturers or ask these perfumers to remove certain ingredients which could prove harmful to human beings, i.e. maybe the skin reactions, or the ingredient itself could be harmful in a way. So the nose behind this fragrance is, I'm sorry if I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, which I usually do. I'm a Pakistani born and brought up in the United Arab Emirates. I wouldn't question my English, but my French is rather questionable. So the nose behind this fragrance is Francois Demachi, and this was released back in 2021. It's considered an Oriental eau de parfum concentration. Notes on the website mentioned include honey, tobacco, rum, peach, and a smoke accord, and the smoke accord is pretty intense in this fragrance, more than the tobacco itself. So let's get into this. Quite sweet. Basically it'll remind you of Fève Délicieuse, because I think that's a kind of a gourmand going into the sweeter direction. A few of the people would say they like Fève Délicieuse a little more than Tobacolor, but it has shades of honey is how do you say this? So honey is overdosed. I'll tell you what this might remind you of. It might remind you of a fruit compote drizzled in honey, left to macerate, and the smell that you get, the intensity of the honey, the syrupy qualities, the sweetness that comes in from this would remind you of a fruit compote that's drizzled with honey and left to macerate. Traces of vanilla. This would be my nose telling you that there are traces of vanilla and loads of amber through the notes that are not actually listed, but I get traces of vanilla and loads of amber, mostly during the dry down. If it wasn't for the contrasting smoke and tobacco note, it would be rottingly sweet, but it's not, because the tobacco and the smoke note here kind of overtake the sweetness and kind of balance it out in a way. So I like fragrances that have a balancing act. It's like where one dimension of the fragrance does not overtake the other. So it's not too rottingly sweet. It's not very ashy tobacco right in your. It is sweet ashy tobacco in your face, but yeah, I think you get the point, right? So the ashy qualities to the smoke accord and the tobacco kind of balance the sweetness a little. Will remind you of a 2000 fragrance from Michael Kors Man, back in the day. Of course, that fragrance was, I guess, more intense. Like I mentioned, back in the day, there were not many restrictions by IFRA to the perfumers, and so the ingredients that they used back in the day would generate basically beast mode fragrances, which have been watered down, reformulated again and again and again and again and again. I haven't got back to that fragrance from 2004, but yeah, it does remind me a little of Michael Kors, Michael Kors Man, which was a tobacco fragrance. I think my personal opinion about this fragrance, it's old school, but with ultra modern touches. Opens plum peach, plum peachy fruit compote like, dries down to a milky honey syrup like, not lactonic at all, but yeah, the milky experience would basically. Another perfume that it would remind you of is from Laban, Paris. It's called Corrigan. Again, a tobacco based fragrance. So in this fragrance, in Tobacolor, it's not an overdose of tobacco, but rather the smoke accord. So it's like burned ashy tobacco with the leafy nuances that give you an earthy, grassy like nuance to the fragrance. Projection is a room filler. The time you're going to spray this, I'm married for 18 years, and my wife usually, before used to ask me what fragrance I'm wearing. Nowadays I spray the fragrance. For Tobacolor, she knows I'm wearing Tobacolor. It's loud, it's out there. The sillage is amazing. The first few hours that you spray the fragrance, the longevity for me is 8+ hours. It goes well into, I think, the 10 hours mark. It would remind you faintly of Back to Black by Kilian, but then Back to Black isn't a screamer. This is a screamer. It's a winter monster fragrance, and it cuts through the winter. It cuts through the cold. Anybody around you would compliment you on this fragrance right straight off the back. Kilian fragrances I'm not a very big fan of. I don't want to talk bad about Kilian. There are fans, and there are die-hard fans of Kilian fragrances. I'm just not one of them. This can, of course, also the sillage, the projection, the longevity would definitely be dictated by your body chemistry, what you've eaten in the day, the weather outside, temperatures, etc. And that's a personal experience. I mean, what I'm saying would probably not necessarily translate to everything that you feel with the fragrance. That's your journey, that's your experience, and experiences with perfumes can differ. If you don't like sweet frags, this might not be for you. So my personal suggestion to you is go to the Dior boutiques, try out the fragrance, spray it. If you can, secure a tester for the fragrance, wear it for a full day, give it a test drive, I might say, and see how it works for you, how it develops on you. Maybe you're going to fall in love with the dry down, or when it starts getting into the heart or the base, and it stays with you. You love that. You might not like the opening. So I suggest that you get a tester. I wouldn't say it's a super expensive fragrance, but then you might as well allocate your money to different fragrances. You might like more than Tobacolor. Although Tobacolor is one of my favorite tobacco fragrances at the moment, this might not be for you. When I was talking about DNA earlier on, so we had different perfumers for the Christian Dior Privee collection, including the likes of Maison Francis Kurkdjian, and he created the fragrance Unoir. Annick Monardo did Bois d'Argent. They launched in 2000. The collection didn't have a DNA back then, but Francois Demarchi, since the time he's become the in-house perfumer, I believe, you know, what perfumers basically do is they have a base that they like going back to time and again, and so I think the base remains relatively same amongst the perfumes created by Francois Demarchi, and the rest of the perfume is built up upon the heart notes and the top notes. So the DNA that you might relate to, if you're already into the Dior Privee collection, if you're going out to try the Dior Privee collection, a few references I can give you is Tobacolor might remind you of Purple Oud, it might remind you of Santal Noir, it might remind you of Oud Rosewood, since Demarchi is the nose behind all these perfumes, and like I said, he has this DNA that he keeps going back to and builds the rest of the fragrance over the base, so as to say. So these are just my 2 cents, haha, pun intended, my 2 cents on the fragrance. Do leave me your comment suggestions. Do you already have Tobacolor? If you do not have Tobacolor, would this review help you make a fair decision in trying the fragrance at least? And if trying and you like the fragrance, if you're going to buy it, you might leave comments on for me to refer to. It's a perfect niche scent. It's the perfect time of the year here in the United Arab Emirates, or wherever you are located and winters are on. I think it's a perfect winter fragrance. Perfect winter fragrance. Honey can go animalic. Let me just say that. I'm sorry, I close by saying this. Honey can go animalic, and this definitely does go animalic, musky a bit, but just a bit. It's not over animalic or it's not over musky in that way, ever so slightly. Lots of gratitude. Thank you for taking the time out. Thank you for taking your valuable time out and listening to me. And the rants, it's again a 20-minute video. I think that's going to be the basic time that my reviews would last per fragrance, because I'd like to refer to the past, and I'd like to get these I don't know how I like relating a few fragrances, and a lot of my fragrances in my collection have an old school kind of vibe to them with an ultra modern touch. I like complex fragrances rather than linear fragrances, and so most of my reviews are going to be based on that mindset. Either which ways, thank you for taking the time out. Do subscribe to my channel, hit the like button if you like the content that I'm creating, and hit the notifications bell so you're notified every time I come up with a review of fragrance rant. I don't know, not a perfume video. Maybe the history of perfumes, maybe notes in perfumery, what are my favorite notes. We'll discuss what your favorite notes are. Too soon to say that I'll be doing any live sessions. I'm not sure about that, not at the moment. Maybe once I'm into the groove of and understanding or increasing my horizons higher, expanding my knowledge on fragrances, and then we can probably do live chats, and that's the way forward I see. As per the schedule of videos that I'm going to be posting, I'll try my level best to do about 2 to 3 reviews a week, at least 8 videos a month, and I think I'm covered for the next 8 weeks, or 4 weeks rather, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fragrance reviews that I'll be bringing to you. These are all tobacco based fragrances. Do like, comment, share, subscribe to my channel, and it means a lot to me. Thank you so much for watching my video. I wish you the best of luck, a very happy new year, and I hope that you can stick to your resolutions and make a happier, better life, inshallah. One way of doing so is by having gratitude towards God for giving you another day, for giving you another heartbeat, for giving you health, for giving you all the blessings that we take for granted and never think of: seeing, smelling, hearing, listening, talking, taste, senses, everything and anything. Just getting across your day happily is another blessing in disguise. So wake up every day, be thankful to God and be thankful to your parents. Never hurt human being. Be humble, be polite, and if I can, I will pass on a few life lessons with the fragrance reviews. Uh, I hope it helps you. It helped me. See you till the next time. And I think I'd want to be doing Royal Tobacco from Amwaj. This is a Rokian creation and it's one of my favorite perfumes. It's all these tobacco fragrances. I go for the winters. They go winter fragrances. Tobacco cuts through the cold and it kind of gets you many compliments. Till then, see ya. Ciao. Adios, amigos.